chord. Okay. So if you want to watch the #1 and #2 master classes, you can go to my Mitani Music YouTube link. I mean, I will try to send you the link. So today, by request, I will talk about improvisation. Yay, exciting. So what is improvisation? So you may think like when a professional jazz pianist is improvising, or either any instrumentalist or even vocalist improvising, you may think they are just randomly playing notes and it sounds somehow cool or nice, but it's not the case. It's not the case. So usually we follow the chord progression specifically. So we have a structure we have to follow. So #1, when you improvise, you have to use chord tones. So Jay and Lisa, you have been playing 5-finger patterns, another name pentascales. And Joey, I introduced you the 5-finger pattern in the first lesson. So for all my students, I try to introduce the 5-finger patterns as soon as possible. And I would love you to master them as soon as possible, because it's the basic of everything. Like even classical music, if you know these 5-finger patterns with the triads chord in the end, you can recognize these chords in the actual written score. And also for the jazz improvisation, you need to know these chords. So does everyone know chord tones? Maybe it's another way of saying, but when you play, yeah, Lisa, do you have a question?
Is there another word for chord tones?
It's just a broken triad, broken chords. So if you are playing C major, 5-finger pattern, C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, E, G, E, C. And then in the end, you are playing C major triad. So by the way, triad is a 3-note chord, and then chords means anything. It may be 3 notes, it may have 4 notes, it may have 5, 6, 7 notes. So C, E, G is a chord tone for C major triad or C major chord. C, E flat, G are the chord tones for C minor chord. Is it clear? So whenever you see, maybe you have seen jazz piano score with all the chord names on top. Have you seen it? So if you see C on top of this measure, you can use C, E, or G, or all of them to improvise, because it's gonna sound good, right? So for example, I'm gonna play C major chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna play C with my right hand. I'm already improvising with 1 note in my right hand and the C major chord in the left hand, right? Now I'm gonna use E only. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. I used E, but I changed octaves. I went I started higher, I went lower. And then you can also do G alone, right? Now I'm gonna play two notes, C and G. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. It sounds fine, right? Yeah, and then you can expand to 3 notes. So that's the very, very basic. So whatever the chords you pick, you choose one of the 3 chord tones, or 2 of them, or 3 of them. The most important thing is to keep it on time. You don't want to play all the 3 notes going up and down, and if you lose track of the timing, that's not good. Then you'd rather want to take a rest, I mean, quarter rest or half rest or even a whole rest to prepare yourself for the next measure. So the timing is most important. Eventually, you're gonna learn 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th. So briefly, I'm gonna explain. If you become an expert of the triad, which has 3 notes, C, E, G, okay? If you wanna play C7, C dominant 7, you add C, E, G, B flat, that's the 7th, which is 5, 7 in the key of, I hope you can say it, except Joey, in the key of F major, right? Because you're gonna say J, yes. Okay, so that's the 7th. And then D, skip C, D is the 9th. F is the 11th. A is the 13th. So once you master the basic 3 chord tones, you can keep adding the 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th. But it's more advanced because you have to think a lot after those 3 notes. And you have to open your hands and move your hand position to play these. So that's for a lot later. So for the very basic, I would practice chord tones, 3 note names for each chord. So how many major triad are there? If someone wanna.
12.
Yes. And how many minor triads?
12.
Yes. So you can practice 24 triads, major and minor. For the triads, there are, other than major and minor, there are other triads too. Maybe Lisa can answer.
Diminished, augmented.
Yes. Yes. So there are 12 diminished triads, 12 augmented triads as well. But that's the next step. So I want you to at first master the 12 major triads, 12 minor triads. Either put the metronome on, or if some of you have iReal Pro app, there are like a drum tracks you can play along with instead of just a metronome click. Okay. So have you heard of the jazz pianist Duke Ellington?
What? Who's that? I don't know.
You don't know?
Yes, I know who it is.
Okay, so The quote he said, musical excitement is created rhythmically, not melodically. Should I type it? Because my pronunciation is bad. Musical excitement. I'm going to send you this by attachment. So a lot of, when I teach improvisations to adults or like teenage students, like they try to impress me and they try to use tons of notes in one measure, and then they can't change the chord to the next measure on time because they are trying to use too many notes in one measure or during one chord. So you can create a beautiful music by using only one chord tone of the chord. And to prove that, Duke Ellington played C-jam blues. Have you heard of C-jam blues? No? Do you want to listen to it now or you want to listen to it later? I have a link. Either way?
It's up to you.
Okay, so we have you heard of it? So he just used G for C major chord and G for C major chord and G major chord, C and G, and he used only C to improvise for F major chord. Yes, question?
Okay. Lisa might remember this, but I know Joy is this is probably past her or before her time. Have you ever seen the movie Overboard with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell?
A long time ago. I don't remember. They were on a boat.
Yeah. Well, during the movie, she dreams and she's in the shack and the water is dripping through the roof in the pot and it starts making the and so she goes into a dream where on the piano they're playing that piece. Yes. I'm pretty sure we can find it on YouTube. Yeah, I remember that then. I haven't seen the movie.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
I don't, well, I didn't grow up here, so I don't remember, or maybe if I see a movie, I remember. But he proved to even to the band members he was playing at that time that, hey, you guys, it's not about the notes. Nobody says, I love C so much, the sound of C, but I hate the sound of F sharp. Nobody says that, but some people would say, woo, I love that rhythm. This is very hip or cool or makes me want to dance. That's the rhythm. So even when you are learning classical pieces or all written notes, I always say, what's most important when you learn a new piece? Rhythm.
Rhythm.
Yes, not the note, rhythm, right? So improvisation is especially like that. Rhythm is important. So if I play G with C major chord, and if I play just quarter notes and half notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I included one whole note, but it's like a little bit boring. But by using the same notes, you can include triplets, you can include dotted rhythm, you should include rest. Silence is more important than notes by Mozart. So you should include silence, but okay. Here's Duke Ellington's rhythm. And I'm gonna change the rhythm, triplet. Do you see how it's different when you change the rhythm? Even though I am using the exact same notes. Yeah, so that being said, practicing with the metronome, with a steady beat, or some kind of drum track is very important. And also you need to always feel where the beat one is. You don't want to get lost when you create different rhythm. So that maybe for Joey, I need to explain about this, but do you, yeah, Lisa knows, do you know iReal Pro? So Lisa and Jay know iReal Pro, right? So I will introduce a little bit by sharing my screen. iReal Pro. Okay. Share my keyboard. Sometimes, do you see my iPad screen? Yeah, okay, so this is iReal Pro. Looks like this is a flat sign. And then I just open it. Here is C-Jam Blues. There are like thousands of free lead sheet like this. So this is a jazz lead sheet. When you see C7, it's a C dominant 7. F7 is F dominant 7, C7, G7, C7. So if you see 9 or 11 or 13 or even 7, and if you do not understand the numbers for now, even though you're going to be learning it in the future, you can just think about C triad, C major triad. And then, I don't know. When I open the mixer, okay, so here's the drums. You can, I need drums. You can change the volume here, reverb, bass, organ, or you can choose even piano. And then if I play, why is that playing? Sorry. The sound is terrible because I didn't share the. So bass player is playing the bass, like C major chord, F major chord, G major chord. So you can play this and then you can play along with the iReal Pro. So let me share the computer sound. Then it may work better. you know. Does it sound better? Sorry, the sharing sound is so bad. But anyways, so you can play with a band. And then you can practice only your right hand, improvising, and so on. So this app is like $15, but I use this a lot to practice. If you don't want to follow the chord progression, you can do just the drums. No, I still hear the piano. But there are a lot of ways to practice with iReal Pro. Or of course, you can record yourself playing the left hand and then play along with the left hand. The next, I'm talking about the basic stuff today, but the next step would be like there are scales you can use. There are like modes you can use to improvise, but you want to always come back to home, which is chord tones, because these three notes, they fit so well for each chord. Do you have any questions so far? So when you practice, you don't need to like think about, okay, I need to sit down for 1 hour to improvise. No, you can just do for 10 minutes. And you can pick a key. Okay, I will do F major. And then just play, improvise with F major chord tones and play the chord with the left hand. Of course, you can switch. You can play chord in the right hand, and the left hand can do 1, 2, 3, 4. It's rare to improvise with the left hand, so you want to be good at improvising with the right hand. But sometimes you may want to switch. Okay, since we have, I can spend a little bit more time. I will talk about 12-bar blues chord progression. We did some. Jay and I did some, right? Do you know 12-bar blues, Lisa?
No, I don't know it yet.
So when musicians get together and they go, hey, let's jam something, let's do blues. And they're gonna just pick a key. It happened to me several times or many times. And they wanna pick a keys of the left side of circle of fifth, sorry. C major and go to F major, B flat major, E flat major, A flat major. Do you know why jazz musicians wanna pick flat keys? Because in a jazz, yeah, Lisa?
Jazz music uses the left side of the circle.
Yes, do you know why jazz music use left side of the circle? Because in a jazz band, usually there's a trumpet player, right? Sometimes saxophone player, clarinet player. These are B flat instruments or E flat instruments. for these musicians, it's so much easier for them to read the music in the key of E flat or B flat than 2, 3, 4 sharps on the right side of the circle. Do you have a question, Lisa?
No.
No? Okay. So 12 bar blues is made of 12 bars, means 12 measures. And then it's made of primary triads, 1 chord, 4 chord, and 5 chord. And if you Google 12 bar blues, you're gonna find the chord progression, but let me try to share again, just the screen, so you can see my 12 bar blues. Do you see it here? Let me, okay, so if we are in the key of C major, what's 1 chord?
C, E, G.
C, E, G, so C major, right? C major chord here, 4 measures, and then 4 chord is Lisa,
F major.
F major chord for 2 measures, and then go back to C major chord for 1, and then here's 5 or 5, 7, so which is, yeah, G7, and then F, and then go back to 1 and 1. So in the key of C major, I'm gonna do about 80. Now go to okay, I will play just with the drums. Oh, sorry. I see. I need to share the screen so you can follow the chord progression. Oh, sorry, technical difficulties. While I'm doing this, okay, no sound. So I will do this key of C major with my metronome, since I want to show you. So here is, let's do about 100. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. I just went through 12 measures. Did you follow it? Yeah. So you can start with chord tones. And then after you're good with chord tones, you can use scale tones. Now the next step, you can learn the blues scale to add these scales or modes. So there are so many possibilities. So the step 1 is to get the chord tones on time. And then some students, not only like jazz, people who want to play jazz or classical, sometimes I'm asked this question, like, how long does it take to master the piano? And there is no end goal. I'm still learning after many, many years. Yeah, Lisa?
I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. So I cannot say you can master it in 3 years or in 10 years or even in 20 years. So it's a process, it's a journey. You keep learning. So the goal is, my goal is, tomorrow I can play better than today. Next month I can play better than today. Or next year I play much better than now. But there are so many information, and a lot of adults especially, they want to skip steps, not 3 of you, but some others, because they want to play this level so fast. They want to skip these steps and they want to just be able to play the highest level possible. But that's impossible for anyone. You have to go step by step and then build up. So for today's topic, I would sit down and play the triads over and over. Of course, some triads are much easier than other triads to think about the notes, for hand positions, and then you can start adding 7th chords. When you go to 7th chords, like some of them have this, some of you have this theory book, and then I think it's around level 7. They start talking about 5 types of 7th chords. Besides dominant chord, there is major 7th, dominant 7th, minor 7th, half diminished 7th, diminished 7th. So these are going to be very useful and important when you continue learning improvisation. So hopefully we can get there with during your lessons. Any questions?
I have a question. What does book 6 have in it? I've got 5 here.
I believe it's level 7. Hold on.
What level do you have, Jewel?
This is 6. I don't know if you know, but you're coming in very low.
Oh, okay. Is this
Oh,
better?
do you have 7th chord in level 6?
In 6, I only have it says the dominant 7th.
Yeah,
with
dominant 7th, right?
Yeah.
So when you get the same series, yeah, level 7, starting at level 7, 7th chord starts. Yeah. So dominant 7th chord is the most useful 7th chord out of 5 different types. So master the dominant 7th, and then dominant 7, 5, 7 to 1 is the world famous most popular chord progression ever. So when you master all the 12 majors and 12 minor triads, I would practice 5-1 or 5-7-1 in the key of C major and go to F. 5-1 in the key of F major. Go to B flat. 5-1 in the key of B flat major. And by doing that, you're gonna get to the 12-bar blues eventually.
What book is 571 in?
Oh, level even 3. It's a cadence.
Okay.
So
The
if you
cadence start pretty early, But
Yeah,
they have different progressions in each book.
right. So cadence is for level 5, there's 42, page 42, I believe.
Oh, I see. Did you say 5, 5, 7, 1? I see a
Yeah,
5, 7.
571, 51. I would practice both of them. And then Lisa, if you are looking at level 5, page 44,
Yes.
it says chord progression 1, 4, 2, 5, 7, 1, right?
Yes.
So I would practice this 5, 7, 1 first, only 5, 7, 1, and eventually you can add 2, 5, 7, 1, or 4, 2, 5, 7, 1, 1, 4, 2, 5, 7, 1. And then page 45, you see notes, and then they say you need to transpose it to different keys at page 45, right?
Yes.
So 5, 7, 1 is the cadence. Another name is cadence because it's the most used cadence ever. It's 5, 7, 1. In classical music, pop music, country music, rock music, jazz music, anything, 5, 7, 1. So without thinking, if your fingers can go to 5, 7, 1 in any key, like if I say, hey Jay, play 5, 7, 1 in the key of E flat major, and then if you can go there to play, hey Lisa, play 5, 7, 1 in the key of D minor, and if you can get there and play, that's a huge plus. Okay, guys. Joey, maybe this is a lot of information for you, so I will answer all the questions in the next lesson, maybe. And you will get there. What, Jay?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, based on what you just said, you have time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just based on what you just said, that is a lot of information. Even though you've been teaching me for a little bit, sometimes I get overwhelmed. Like I know 5, 7, and now all of a sudden you're saying it and I forgot it, and then it's like when you say people say how long does it take to get good, but I think us grown-ups, we want to be able to just get on the keys and play something that impresses our our friends and makes it seem like cool or whatever. And I know you say the chord tones, but like how many specific hours of practice do I have to practice the 24 chords, like the number?
So it depends on if you're thinking, okay, what am I gonna eat tonight, and then playing, or you really focus on, okay, I'm getting a D flat major today on time. So sometimes I even dream around while practicing, thinking about different stuff, and I can't focus sometimes, right? So it depends on how much you can focus. So for my history, I have a student at 4:15, so I have to stop soon. My history, okay, my mom signed me up for young kids group lessons. None of my family members were musicians, but in our neighborhood, my mom said that there were no kids around my age, so she just signed me up for the group class. And then I continued to the private lesson, but I was very, very rebellious as a Japanese kid, and I quit my piano lessons at age 15 as a teenager. No, I want to play sports. I don't want to play piano. And then I kept playing by myself. I wanted to continue studying. So I came to the US, went to college. I finished my bachelor's with my piano performance degree. Then it was classical. Then I went back to Japan. I took 1 year of jazz piano lesson. And then it was completely different from classical. It was in my 20s, and I wanted to pursue my studying. So I came back to the US, went to graduate school. I finished my master's degree. And after that, I still wanted to learn jazz and Latin jazz, especially. So I took 5 years of lessons, Latin jazz lessons from a Grammy Award winner pianist. So much information. I was so overwhelmed all the time, right? And then I had to move to Dallas, so I stopped that lesson. And still now, I'm taking master classes and then every week from a jazz expert in Dallas. He does virtual master classes. Okay, every week I get overwhelmed, but he also said, it's okay. You cannot get all the information in 1 hour lesson, right? And every week it's a new information. But in the future, when you hear the same information, the second time or third time or fourth time, now you started to get that deeply even more. So for the first time, when you hear the new information, you have no idea like what is my teacher talking about. But she was saying something about 5/7. And then next time when you hear the 5/7 again, okay, I've heard about it before. Maybe I've played it before. And then maybe third time, fourth time, I may say, hey, I told you this before, but it's still okay. Because you can't get 100% of information at once. So you have to keep repeating, like keep practicing and keep hearing what I say or what other people say. And then it takes a long time. I'm still practicing and learning, and I still get frustrated. Like, why I can't do this? So enjoy your journey and then ask lots of questions to me during the lesson. So I will see you at your next lesson, and thank you for being here. I'm gonna send you guys email with the link and the handout from today. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. I'll see you tonight, Lisa.